Uh-oh.
I'm not.
Linda said she's not talking to me. Are you talking to me, Linda?
No, I'm not.
You're gonna
Well-
get your picture, Linda.
No, she's getting video clipped.
Oh,
Nurse Peg. Small intimate group this year.
Here we go.
And what do I have? This opportunity to be together, to talk and to reminisce and to bring back the past. Lord, we just ask you to bless this food to our bodies and bless this time we have together tonight. Amen.
Cabernet.
Very intimate group this We just have a small intimate group this year. They seem like they're having a good time, so. Diana.
She blamed it on birth control.
Oh.
Because I had said I would work in nursery. Well, so there, so few babies.
So you were on
being-
birth control at the time?
No, but everyone else.
You
was.
weren't pregnant, oh, so you were
And
pregnant?
and the birth population was down. There weren't
Oh.
enough babies being born to justify hiring another nurse.
Oh my God. That was a big, bad story.
So the same day I went over to
from them.
General,
I don't mean.
talked to Mrs. Bernard because Jana was on vacation. She must have chatted to me for 15, 20 minutes, and then she said, well, can you start tomorrow?
Well, nice.
And I said, well, I need to get a uniform, I need to get shoes, and I was working within the week.
Good. Good
So this
stories.
is how I met all
Acquired this family.
I mean, it's, do you want a job? I hadn't even graduated yet. And within 2 weeks of graduation, I started.
Good.
Wow.
Wanda, what about you?
Oh, I've got a lot of stories.
Well, tell us. She's got a lot of. Tell us a good one.
I remember Fred Hitchcock and his parties
And a what a party?
and the drinking parties.
New Year's Eve.
Oh, when he used to take the cart around at the hospital.
Yeah,
On New Year's Eve?
Yeah.
The golden Cadillacs in OR.
I know. And one night, him and John Kane put me on the laundry cart. And I couldn't get down, and Carol had a fit. Get me down here. And then what else? Oh, when we played, called Don to say that we had a dead body. And we had him wrapped and everything. Don comes up, gets on the elevator. I'm on the elevator to help him put the cart down. And Darlene Fortune stood up.
Oh my God, remember Darlene?
She was scared to death.
She was the dead body.
She was the dead. But there's a lot.
And he come to talk to me, and he said, I'm going to see the patient, and as soon as I see him, I want to see you.
Uh-oh.
And he read me out from one end to the other, and I called Mrs. Patel. I'm going, 11 o'clock at night. I don't know what to do. I'm crying. I said, I thought you killed somebody. I'm good.
How old were you then? No, seriously, because I think it.
22, I remember it.
Yeah, right. Because I think it makes a difference when you're young. You take
I
everything.
remember it, and Linda West remembers this too.
No, I was.
And so anyway, I just want to say for the record, I'm Roman Catholic, so just for that record. But anyway.
Is that different than Greek Catholic?
Well, it is because anyway, we're in the intensive care unit. Remember how we had the intensive care unit and the coronary care unit, and Linda West was the head nurse.
Right, Linda, remember? Linda, don't deny
I
it.
do remember.
Okay, don't deny it,
that.
right. So we were the, okay, and so part of Linda's staff was Peg Cornell and Joyce Hitchcock, and we were on her staff. And anyway, it was the intensive care unit, and there was this gentleman, this patient in his second bed, and Joyce was his a nurse. Remember this? There were a bath, and then you would tell him to finish the rest of it. And so now he's finished the rest of it, and he calls Joyce in. Joycey, Joycey, Joyce, Joycey. I said, Joyce, I think your patient is calling. So Joyce walks in, and she comes walking out. She said, oh my gosh, it looks like a goddamn flagpole. and then I said, what are we talking? I'm not going back in there, I'm not going back in there. And Linda said, well, Peg, why don't you go in? I said, it's not my patient, you go in. And Joyce said, I'm Joycey, Joycey. and there was a, do you remember that, Linda? And there was a dilemma. Oh, of course you don't. Of course, of course.
I do because you pulled me in and you guys made me go.
Yes, we did. Sue Short could handle that. It was Sue Dole at then. We said, she could handle that. Let Sue go in. She'll take care of it. Right?
Yep.
And do you remember that?
And you handed me a pencil.
Right, whatever. And I remember that. I remember that.
For the flagpole.
For the flagpole. Don't you remember that, Linda?
So when I went up to this gentleman and I said, how did you spend your night? Good, hold on a minute. I said, he said, hold on a minute, I gotta remove my urinal.
Right.
It was the metal handle of a urinal.
And I was trained by everybody now. Nobody comes into the surgery suite. And if they do come in, you have to be sure that they are gowned and capped. And they're not to go into the rooms unless it's something important. So the nurses had all left because I was there till 5. And so I see this man coming down the hall. And he knocked and came in. He says, oh, I have to check on something. I says, oh, the thing you have to do, though, you have to gown and you have to cap, or you won't be able to come into the surgery suite. So he gowned and he capped, and then he left. And then I found out he was the administrator of the hospital. And I didn't know until later.
Which one was it? Which?
No, it wasn't Frizzell. Anderson? Was there a Lions?
Lions. Oh yeah, way back, way back.
But see, I had never even seen the man, so I didn't know who it was. They all
Oh
left.
good.
I was only there for 6 years, and I think Peg was up in administration then.
Yeah.
And Louise, his wife, came in one day with a carrier. She had a cat in it. And she comes through the lobby, she goes up, and she goes into his office, and pretty soon we hear this commotion, and he comes running to the top. She comes sweeping out. She was very dramatic, and he's at the top of the stairs. Louise, come back. She goes, no, I'm not. You're in charge. And she said, the cat's staying here. And she left the cat in his office because the cleaning lady had let the cat get out the week before. She didn't trust the cleaning lady. It was the cleaning lady's Tuesday. And so she just, and Pauline Conta, she was the support operator. She stood up and she goes, what's going on? You know, it's like she kind of ran the lobby and everything, you know. And she swept out the door, and the cat stayed in his office till she came back later in the afternoon. Yeah. But it was so, I'd only had a video then of him come to the top of those stairs in the lobby going, Louise, you know.
Yeah, with the shotgun.
The nurses does.
I don't know whatever happened, though. I don't remember what happened.
I don't either. What'd you say, Will?
There was a wedding.
Shotgun wedding.
I caught a taxi for a patient from 2 East one day. She came out and she said, I was filling in again she came out and she said to me, it was about 5 o'clock, and she said, could you call a taxi for me? She said, I don't have my glasses, I can't go and use the payphone. And I said, sure, where are you going? And she said, East Randolph, and that should have been my first clue. And I said, okay, and I called the cab company and came and picked her up, and pretty soon Nancy Aiken, I think it was, came running out of 2 East, and she goes, where's Mrs. So-and-so? Have you seen so-and-so? And I said, I don't know who that is. And she said, and the lady that had me call the cab She was totally naked. She had on a winter coat and her shoes, and she wasn't going to stay there. And I had sent her back to Randolph. And so they called the police, and the police
Went and caught her.
brought the poor lady back in, kicking and screaming.
It's so funny when you're a nurse and you're working as a nurse as a general, you always think you're giving good care. But then when I was director of nursing and we do the surveys, we were always the highest in patient care. And I was just talking about that now because the difference with the general and the W is we never put people down. People would come in drunk and we'd say, hey, there are kind of people, you know? I mean, we really didn't care. We always took care of people. And you know, it's so funny because I was saying this just a few minutes earlier when my son was campaigning for county executive. And I was out and I was campaigning trying to get signs up and whatever. I came across this house. And Beth is going to remember this, and Linda's, but I came across this house, and this lady came out, and she said, I know who you are. And I said, you do? She said, yeah. She said, you're Peg Cornell. And Joyce, you'll remember this. She said, my husband was Bert Goodwill.
Oh.
And remember, he was 39 years old,
Yeah.
Peachy,
Yep.
and he had coronary artery disease,
Yep.
and he died. We did everything we could for him. And we stood there, and in fact, I forgot to ask her about putting a sign up for Charlie. Because we were standing there and she was telling me all about the different nurses at the general and what we did for Bert and how she appreciated that so much. And I thought of that and I thought, I can remember, where's Linda? You remember when he died.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my God, he was such a young guy.
Yeah.
And we did everything. And as she's saying that, and I thought, oh my gosh, here I am. You know, now 60-some years old, and she remembers, not me, just me, but us.
Yeah.
I used to paint all the little pins, you know, in 5 years, 10 years.
Oh,
whatever.
I have mine.
Okay.
I still have mine, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, for the
You
men.
put a pepper on one. No, okay.
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did.
A woodpecker.
Oh, no.
And Rod Frizzell got it.
Oh, no. You put a pepper on Frizzell's. Oh, my gosh.
That's my pecker story.
Yeah.
I didn't work at the hospital, but I have a story, and it's, and I don't know if anyone's here from the kitchen, but I used to come in when Sue was working on the weekends on Sunday.
I remember when you met her.
Used to come in for breakfast, and they had the greatest food for
Yeah,
breakfast.
yeah.
And they were so friendly
Yeah.
to
Right there.
someone who didn't work.
Johnny.
there.
Johnny worked in
I
dietary.
used to love to come in and have breakfast. Well, and see my wife too, but.
You were hot for her, Bill. I remember that. You were hot for her. I remember that.
Margaret.
It was true. Just to get a diagnosis on something, you know, somebody was whatever. And Ruthie was so good, wasn't she?
She was.
She was just awesome, yeah?
I have a story about Ruth Wilcox.
Okay.
At the time, I worked for Dr. Campari, so the door to my office was right here, and Ruth was directly across the hall in bacteriology. And I was just working around, and I happened to look up, and Dr. Campari was over with Ruth. They were looking at plates and slides, and he was sitting at the counter looking into the microscope. And I look up, and all of a sudden, there's Ruth, and she's pounding him on the head.
Yeah.
And I looked at her, and she's laughing like crazy. And I just, I minded my own business. But afterwards, she said, Carmen didn't know what else to do. His hair caught on fire. He leaned over the bus. His hair caught on fire, so she's pounding him on the head, trying to put the fire out.